What's up, you all? Welcome to another fun-filled show. I'm your host. He is Blanchard, aka Free Blanche, aka Blanchstradamus. Today's show is entitled IQ versus Social Standards. IQ versus Social Standards. I came across a video and a guy was talking about basically if you don't know how to behave in public, it means you have a low IQ. Um, I disagree. We've seen people misbehave in public that weren't what you would call dumb or stupid. Again, a lot of what they are equating to IQ is a character issue. These are character issues, issues of morality, issues of culture, all of these things. The Bible says in Jeremiah 17, verse 9 through 10, the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? Verse 10, I, the Lord, search the heart. I try the reins, even to give every man according to his ways. And I don't have the third verse because I ran out of space for for this ticker, but um, we can go to verse 11 just real quick. As the partridge sitteth on eggs and hatcheth them not, so he that getteth riches and not by right shall leave them in the midst of his days, and at his end shall be a fool. You see, when God is talking to us, God is speaking about character. God is talking about character. It's not about intelligence. The Bible says you're supposed to study to show thyself approved. They're trying to convince you that IQ is reflective in your or reflected in your behavior. If that was the case, then people with a higher IQ would never misbehave, and that's just not the case. What these people, and I guess you can call them the far right, what these people don't understand is propaganda and programming. And let me say this before I get into this. The closer you get to the equator, the less advancements you have in society. And then once you go below the equator, you can forget it. Now, many of you all are saying, well, Blanche, why do you say that? I say that because when you think about it, the closer you are to the equator, the easier life is. And people don't ever try to factor in how geographical location, climate, how these things affect soil richness, how these things affect your culture. So if we think about Europe, it's very hard living in Europe. It's colder, the terrain is rougher, it's harder to grow food. Like it's wastelands, frozen tundras of wasteland. Like it is harder living in Europe. The further south you go from Europe, the easier life gets. Think about somebody who lives in the Caribbean and they can just go outside and pick some fruit or drop a line in the ocean and get some fish. Like, how much advancements do you think they have in that society? Honestly, if they can just go outside and pick some fruit or, you know, go fishing, like how and the weather's doesn't dip below 80 degrees, like what are they really going to develop as a society? Like what kind of advancement are they going to make? They're not going to build castles. Why would they need to? So my point is that the reason why you see Western culture advancing like it did, like it does, the reason why you saw this was because survival. People don't factor in survival when it comes to your culture. Europeans were forced to be innovative because life was harder. It was based on survival. So new ideas were welcomed, new inventions were more welcome, like new thoughts were welcome because people wanted to survive and life was so harsh, people wanted to survive more comfortable. We talk about people on the equator or sub the equator, then these people aren't going to do all that stuff. Why? Because they don't really have the threats of death. Now, there may be some disease outbreaks, but for the most part, no. For the most part, the weather is good and that's it. I mean, and food is plenteous. Now, you go to some parts of Africa, it's not. And these people choose to live there because they live there for thousands of years. Why would they leave? Again, these cultures that have an easier way of life, in my opinion, are less open to new ideas. This is my own opinion. I believe that when life is easy, people are less open to new ideas. When life is harder, people are more open to new ideas. And it's just what it is. So I factor in geographical location more than I do IQ. I just got to be honest, I do. Now, we talk about cultures. Maybe a better culture is formed when life is hard than a culture that's formed when life is easier. That could be an argument, but I'm going to pick the factors I've laid out: geographical location, climate, um, richness of soil, how plenteous is the food, just all of these things. So that's what I want to say. But anyway, um, I made this video in response to this video I'm about to play right now. This guy talking about IQ being linked to behavior. Let me play it right now.
Even though only group 1 is boarding and they could have sat down for another 15 minutes. It's really easy to see who's high IQ and low intelligence is your social awareness levels. Being in public and saying things like, am I in the way of anybody right now? Am I bothering anybody right now? Is my music being played too loud right now? And if the answer is yes, immediately correcting course to fix those things. Perfect example of this is the airport. When you're in the security line, you can see people fumbling in their bags for their IDs when they're at the front. They could have had their IDs out 20 minutes before. When you're at the gate and they say we're boarding, everyone gets up at once and goes to board, even though only group 1 is boarding and they could have sat down for another 15 minutes. It's really easy to see who's high IQ and low IQ in these situations, all based on your social awareness.
Now, what he's saying sounds very simple. It sounds very, matter of fact and to the point. But again, there's no context. And you have to factor in the intent behind the behavior. You see, what we don't factor in, and I'm going to, what we don't factor in is propaganda and how much propaganda is put on a particular group of people. I would venture to say that Black people are the most propagandized people on the planet, even more so than communist countries. Why? Because Black culture itself is a byproduct of communism, Marxism, globalism, socialism, whatever. It's a byproduct of it. So the very nature of Black culture is founded in communism. Now, think about propaganda. Think about programming. Think about conditioning. Think about how much of Black culture is in your history book. How much of Black culture is on the television? How much of Black culture is in the music? How much of Black culture is in the movies? How much of Black culture is in your everyday life? And so when I talk about propaganda, imagine a group of people that are being force fed this stuff since birth. Now, a lot of you all that aren't a part of Black culture, you're looking from the outside in. I'm talking about a person that's born looking at this thing from the inside out. That means that their lens, their purview of the world is going to be heavily conditioned and programmed. This on the screen right now says you are not immune to propaganda, and you're not. And the reason why it says is because propaganda is so subtle and you don't even realize that everywhere you turn, Black culture is being elevated. And I've said this before, that Black culture is the global culture. That's the culture that everybody knows around the world. If a black person travels around the world, everybody knows aspects of their culture. Now, you can say that for an American person in general, a white person, possibly, yeah, too. But again, even if it's American culture is still heavily influenced by communism and Marxism, globalism and socialism, i.e., heavily influenced by black culture. The foundation of slavery. Think about what they're saying. They're saying that America was founded on slavery. That means that white Europeans came to America to be slave owners. This is what they preach. This is why black people hate America, because they're lied to about the founding of America. America was not founded for people to own slaves. America was founded on freedom. That's why America was founded. America was actually founded on the opposite of what most would say that America was founded on. But imagine a group of people being told that America only exists because they wanted to make you a slave. That already makes black people hate America and also hate white people and also have a battery in their back to revolt or rebel against any kind of thing that is what we would call American, i.e., Western society and culture. But this kind of programming and indoctrination is in every single history book in America. So that means every child from an early age is already being programmed and propagandized to this quote unquote black struggle and black plight, i.e., black culture. So again, I know we want to link behavior to IQ, but what you all hate to discuss is how much communism and Marxism and globalism have influenced America, have influenced black culture, have influenced black people. Another example here, Kamala Harris, a communist. She ran for president. Think about that. Think about Kamala Harris running as a black woman, even though she wasn't, and running as a communist and getting almost 90% of the black vote. Think about her giving a nod to black culture. Her entire campaign was black culture. She raised almost $2 billion. So now we saw a communist running for president, but guess what? We already had a communist that was president, Barack Obama. Barack Obama is literally seen as the savior for black people, and he's a communist. What am I saying? I'm saying that the propaganda and programming is so deep that you all don't even realize it's even there. You simply look at the end result of something and say, okay, it must be this. No. When a black child comes out of the womb, they are already programmed and propagandized and conditioned. We have two people on the screen right here, both communists, both leftists, both radical, both progressive. Patrice Cullors said, we are trained Marxists. Now imagine the largest black organization ever, Black Lives Matter, and the founders, 3 queens that happen to be LGBTQP, don't forget X, Y, and Z, the founders of the largest black organization or movement in the world ever in history, and they were Marxists. Now do you see how powerful this thing called black culture is? And all of these groups pay homage to black culture. That's the only way to get black folks to buy in. So when Hillary Clinton says, I got hot sauce in my purse, when Kamala Harris says, I wash my greens in the tubs, these are nods to black culture. When Barack Obama said Trayvon could have been my son, these are nods to black culture, and it's everywhere.
Is your social awareness levels. Being in public and saying things like, am I in the way of anybody right now? Am I bothering anybody right now? Is my music being played too loud right now? And if the answer is yes, immediately correcting course to fix those things. Perfect example of this is the airport. When you're in the security line, you can see people fumbling in their bags for their IDs when they're at the front. They could have had their IDs out 20 minutes before. When you're at the gate and they say we're boarding, everyone gets up at once and goes to board, even though only group 1 is boarding and they could have sat down for another 15 minutes. It's really easy to see who's high IQ and low IQ in these situations, all based on your social awareness.
And so again, you all are assuming that these people aren't socially aware. You're not factoring in that they don't care. You see, most of what you see is rebellion against order, structure, Western culture, i.e., white people. Most of what you all are looking at is rebellion against white people because Black folks have been told that going against white people in any kind of way is you fighting against the system or you fighting against racism. So when you see Black folks misbehaving a lot of times in public, it's not because they don't know any better. It's because they're rebelling against whiteness. They are rebelling against whiteness. And they're just waiting for someone to say something to them so they can go off. So these tactics are used to agitate you all. You don't even realize it. You don't even realize that these people are trying to get you all to respond because they want someone to say something to them. And they also, a lot of them are angry, upset. You got to think about it. Imagine being told that no matter what you do, you're going to be oppressed. I mean, imagine being told no matter what you do, you are going to be oppressed by white people. That means that the average Black person is walking around with a chip on their shoulder. So when you see Black folks misbehaving, again, it's not because that they just don't know any better. They don't know how to behave in public. No, that's not it. Trust me, that's not it. Let me give you all an example of what I mean when I say this. Let me give you all an example of what I mean when I say this.
Fuck.
Yes.
He mad. Let me tell you. My phone, my mama texted me. No sound was home.
Okay.
I answered the text. He told me, "Excuse me, can you turn the light down on your phone?"
I said, "Excuse me."
I said, "Don't tell me what to do with my phone."
But the thing now
I
is
said,
this.
"Don't tell me what to do with my phone."
Okay.
These kids in here, worry about yourself.
But what you're doing here now means you need to leave.
No, I paid to be here. What you mean? What do you mean? I can answer a text on my phone.
You are walking through this whole auditorium, disrupting.
What you mean? He
Everything.
disrupted too. How is it okay for him to tell me to put my phone up?
I will talk to him that for you, what you just
How
did.
is it okay for him to tell me to put my phone up?
I haven't
Y'all
heard
finna refund me
from
my money.
you.
Y'all
I
finna
am
refund me my
not
money.
going to refund you anything.
Yes, you is.
You are disrupting everything.
What do you mean? He just disrupted everything. He just disrupted everything. Y'all gonna have to give me my money back. He just told me to put my phone up. He don't know what's going on. So y'all gonna have to give me my money.
Then come to
Y'all
me.
gonna have to give me my money back. Cause I'm finna call the police. Y'all gonna give me my money.
Now, you all believe that she doesn't know any better. And I'm telling you, she knows better. Trust me, she does. Again, she feels like nobody has the right to tell her what to do because she is a queen and she is Black and she is oppressed. You don't have the right to tell me anything. I'm always the victim and I'm always in the right because I'm Black. So again, this is not low IQ right here. This is not low IQ, even though it may seem like it, it's not. This is called entitlement. This is called privilege. This is called being a spoiled brat. This is called having everybody cater to you simply because you're Black. That's what this is. Trust me, she knows that she's not supposed to have her phone on in the movie theater. She knows this. But guess what? She also knows that she's a Black queen and you can't tell her nothing. So again, it's not about IQ. This is about morals, character, standards, principles, all of these things. You see her cutting up. She said, he don't have the right to tell me what to do with my phone. Not that he's wrong. He doesn't have the right to tell me. Why does she feel that way? Because she's a queen. So again, this is not low IQ. This is I'm entitled. This is I'm spoiled. This is I'm privileged. Got another example. Look at this guy jumping on people's cars in the middle of the street. Look at him. Messing people at stoplights. Look at him in traffic, kicking people's cars. Now, you all think this is a low IQ. It's not. It's not. He knows he can get away with it. He wants to go viral. He wants to be popular. He wants to be seen. This is called ego. This is called narcissism. It's not about IQ. He knows this is wrong, but he also wants to go viral. He also wants to be famous. And he also knows if push comes to shove, nothing's going to happen to him. You know why? Because he's oppressed. He's a black king. You're starting to get the gist of what I'm saying? This isn't low IQ. This is not low IQ. He knows this is wrong. But he also has the backing of Hollywood, the media, the history books. Everything supports his behavior. Because when push comes to shove, guess what? I'm oppressed. And at the end of all of this, this will somehow, some way be white people's fault. Somehow, some way, what he's doing will be white people's fault. So again, it's not low IQ. He knows right from wrong. Trust me. He knows. But guess what? He doesn't care because he has low character. He's a degenerate. Let's listen to this real quick.
Educated black man with a great family, and I'm great at basketball. I'm great at what I do. The agenda to try to keep making me look like an angry black man is crazy. I'm sick of it. It's ridiculous. Look like the angry black man. I'm not an angry black man. I'm a very successful, educated black man with a great family, and I'm great at basketball. I'm great at what I do. The agenda to try to keep making me look like an angry black man is crazy. I'm sick of it. It's ridiculous.
Now, you all believe that Draymond Green is slow, has a low IQ. He just doesn't get it. No. Draymond Green knows that he looks crazy on TV with his antics with other NBA players. You know, punching teammates, kicking people in the groins, elbowing people in the face, slamming people, choking people. This is what Draymond Green does. So because it looks so crazy, so he's trying to put pressure on the NBA refs. So the next time he does something crazy, they don't call a technical or give him a flagrant 1 or 2. This is called a tactic or a ploy that you all are too dense to see. Draymond Green isn't dumb. He's planting a seed in the minds of the referees so that they'll think about being seen as racist if they decide to call a technical foul on him, or if they decide to give him a flagrant 1 or a flagrant 2. Draymond, this is not low IQ. Draymond Green is intelligent. He's not dumb. Again, this is programming. This is propaganda. This is conditioning. This is communism and Marxism. It's all everything wrapped in one. Draymond Green is playing the game. He's not dumb. He's doing this on purpose because he wants the referees to think twice about giving him his 6 technical or his 7 technical, which would make him give him suspended for 1 game, or give him a flagrant 1 or flagrant 2. So again, Draymond Green knows that he is lying. You all got to wake up. These black folks are lying to you all. They're playing a game with you all. These folks know good and well what's going on. Draymond Green knows good and well what he's doing, but he wants to get away with it. You know why? Because he already has the privilege. He's a black man in America. What else does he need? That's his card. That's his get out of jail free card. That's his black card, no pun intended. Shout out to American Express. You know, that American Express black card, we want that one. We don't want the African Express black card. That's the one we don't want. Now I'm just playing. But anyway, Draymond Green knows what he's doing. Again, he knows that he has the leverage to pressure these NBA referees to not make a call on him. It's just that simple. You all are sitting back like, he has a low IQ. He must be dumb. Does he not see what he's doing? I told you they don't know how to. No, he knows what he's doing. You all are the slow ones. You all are the slow ones, not him. You all are slow. Let's continue.
So I'm going to play the video for you here. These people have just gotten off their 7-day Carnival cruise from Cozumel, Mexico, when they land in Galveston, Texas, which is one of the worst places to ever sail out of. And 24 people have now been placed on the do not sail list because of this fight. It's kind of just like a do not fly list on a plane. If you end up fighting with somebody in an airport, you'll get put on that list. As you see, security guards start running, but there's not much they can do. Even police get involved. You'll see them come in the picture right here. The Carnival cruise ship said this happened under U.S. Custom and Border Protection, which is where they're at right here. They were coming back into the country. And as you can see, the people even start to push the officers right there. And then the officers couldn't control them. So they start fighting the officers and then start fighting each other again. This is absolutely crazy because these 24 people will never be able to get on a boat ever again. As you can see, there's women, children, old, young. Everybody was just going at it. We still don't know exactly what caused this, but you guys let me know what you think.
Again, that was not low IQ. That is called character, morality, pride. You can list a whole bunch of things. Being wicked, being deviant, being ungodly. Like, you can list a whole bunch of things. But just to say it's low IQ is disingenuous because we see this behavior with other groups of people around the world, regardless of color. Like, all people groups have conflicts everywhere in society. So again, my point is that behavior is not linked to IQ. It's just not. You can take children that are low developing, low functioning, and they still can behave, or even adults for that matter, and they still can behave. It's based on character. How much does a person care about what is right and what is wrong? That is the question. Even right here, right? I've never seen anybody rob Dick's Sporting Goods. It's crazy to me. Like, I've never even thought, it has never crossed my mind that a person would want to rob Dick's Sporting Goods store. I don't even know why I never thought about it, but the Bliggities will always, you know, there's a slogan that says, hold my beer. The Bliggities will always say, hold my Hennessy. Just when you think they can't go beyond the borders of Fantasia, hold my Hennessy. And but again, this is not a low IQ. This is called, we can go into a store and steal without any consequence. This is a character issue. You see the tramp stamp on her back. This is a character issue. I'm a black person, I'm oppressed, so I should be allowed to steal from white people. That's all this boils down to. I'm oppressed in America, and I should be allowed to steal from white people. I should be allowed to make white people's life miserable because they are quote unquote racist and because they are oppressing me. I should have a right to make their life very uncomfortable. And that's what most of it is. Black people are doing this feeling justified because, frankly, they say that they are taught that all white people are racist. So again, when you observe this behavior, just know it's not because they have a low IQ. It's because they're getting back at you. I thank y'all for tuning in today. and I hope to see you all soon. Thank you.